Hello, hello, everyone. Once again, I'm here and now with Chulu Sansa,
Chansa.
Chansa. Welcome, welcome to Entrepreneur Talks podcast. And it's a pleasure to have you here with me, Chulo Chansa. Nice to have
Thank
you
you
here.
so much.
You're welcome. So, Chulo, where are you talking from?
I am in Kabwe in Zambia.
Oh, wow, powerful. African culture and lifestyle with Chulo Chansa. I'm so excited for this. I know we're going to have an amazing conversation here. So, and Chulo, in 3 words, could you describe you as a person, if it's possible?
Okay. I'd say intuitive, creative, and the third one. What could that be? And spiritual. Yeah, let's do
Oh,
that one. Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful, intuitive, creative, and spiritual. Love that. Love that. And how do you take these 3 things and and use into your business? Do you use
Mm.
these 3 things? Of course, I know, but I'm sure you do. But
Yeah.
let's start from the intuition. How?
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so um, my business is called Africana Woman. And as the name suggests, I do work with African women. And these are women who are from the continent or the diaspora. Typically, it's an entrepreneurial type of woman that is looking for a way to live the life that they really want to live. I think a lot of times we get caught up in sort of like a rat race. Your either your family, your parents are influencing you about, you should do this, you should do that, and you don't necessarily at the beginning choose what is really from your passion. So now the ladies that I work with are people that are looking to really discover themselves and rebrand themselves in a way that is that seems natural to them, that seems that it's something that they really want to do. It's coming from their heart, from their spirit, that this is what I want to do. So in terms of intuition, I am very good at listening to people and listening in between the lines.
Oh, wow.
So people will be saying something, but not, then they may be a bit scared to actually say it the way that they hear it in their head or they feel it.
Right.
And I'm able to voice it back to them, and they say, yes, that sounds true about
Mhm.
what I'm trying to achieve and do in my life. So I'd say that is the intuitive part. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And the creative, how you work in your business.
Yeah, the creative is the most exciting because we create a lot of content that is for African women to consume. Well, anyone can consume it really. So we also have a podcast. There is a blog. So there's a lot of writing. There is the artwork. Even when we're doing different campaigns around different issues,
Yeah.
so,
Mm.
I love to infuse the creativity in there. I think for me, that excites me because I come from a background of design and art. So that really does well for me.
Click
Yeah.
together. And
Yeah.
I love your clothes. I've been looking into your pages and see that African clothes that the other day one of the
Thank you.
founders of Women Flix as well, she had a connection with someone in Africa. I can't remember if it was Uganda, but
Hmm.
she received a beautiful, beautiful, stunning, powerful
Yeah.
dress because
Yeah.
you really have this kind of stuff. Like, I don't know the names, I don't want to say something wrong, but I do love, and I see
Yeah.
the picture. There's so much power in this word and this creativity that comes from that side, comes from Africa.
Hmm.
In terms when you
Yeah.
dress like that, you feel like a boss. You feel like a
Yes, you do. And it's actually funny. One of my first businesses was fashion design. So
Wow.
I used to design and, make clothes and all of that. The business didn't work out, but I think what has always stuck with me is being able to dress myself in a way that is that speaks to my personality. Because
Mm,
a lot of times you go to these jobs and they're very clinical or very specific about the way that you're supposed to look.
look.
And when you can't even express yourself with your appearance and say, this is what I love colors, I love
Yeah.
boldness, I love that when I walk in a room people know that I'm there,
Yes.
so I just love to express that in my clothes even
Oh,
to date.
beautiful. That's really beautiful. I really enjoy your pictures. Every time I look, I'm like, oh, there she is. So beautiful, so stunning. It's
Thank
like,
you.
yes, I am the woman that I am. Just through the words, just through the clothes, transmits that. And that's really powerful. And when it comes to spiritual, how do you work that side into your business?
Yeah. So when it comes to spiritual, I believe that everybody has something
Believe.
that they are rooted in.
Mm,
There's a saying that we stand on, which is know your roots, grow your purpose. So I believe that everybody has a purpose in this world, right? You don't just come here to, just flit around and, not do anything. But I believe that you've been sent here to do something, greater. And one of the things that I do really work with the women is really understanding what is it that you feel called to do? What is it that you are drawn to do? Because what usually happens is, even though we may seem to have different types of jobs in our career, maybe you've had three types of jobs and they seem a bit different, but when you really begin to think about the types of skills that you are using or the types of people that you are serving, you begin to see a pattern. And then you begin to say, oh, okay, maybe I have been called to be of service in this area, or I really feel that I love working with children and helping them to be
yeah.
confident about who they are. Whatever it is, there's always a pattern that goes along. And even if you're in a particular job that you don't like, there's something in there that you're really good at, and then you can pick it up and then really put it together and say, this is who I want to be.
That's powerful. Yeah, it's totally. I agree with you, and it's so true. Because even if you don't feel like you're supposed to be there or doing what you're doing, you need to
Hmm.
take the good thing about it. Because
Yes.
even the fact that you notice that you don't like that, there is a victory. There is something that,
Yes.
yeah, you taking away with you when you leave, if you can
Definitely.
make that decision. But this is really good. And so you teach them with this. You see
Yeah,
how,
so yeah, sorry, I didn't really finish off my thoughts about the spirituality. Sorry, let me just go back to
yeah,
that. So I myself am very I believe in a being that is greater than me. And I believe that my and I call it God. I believe that people call, God different things, whatever your
mhm,
religion is. But I call my higher power a God, right? Or my God. And for me, there's um a lot that I do and a lot of decisions that I make that I have to tap into my connection with my higher power. I don't just make decisions and say, oh, I'm doing this because I think it's okay. I would
mhm,
say, what does my higher, like, I'll consult with my higher power and say, do you think this is good for me? And, especially when you talk about, let's say, Christianity, right? We talk about the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is within us, right? And some people would describe it as intuition,
mhm,
and you'd say, you'd have like a feeling, or something that is telling you maybe not to do something, or to do something in a way that is not the norm.
right.
But but it's telling you to do it. You don't understand why it's telling you to do it,
Yeah,
right?
that's exactly.
But if you do follow it, you may find in the end you're like, oh, that's why I
That's
was told to
why.
do that. So that's like tapping into the spirituality and your connection with your higher power. And I think a lot of people that I do work with and are drawn to me do believe in something bigger than them. So they are rooted in their faith. They're rooted in their God. They're rooted in just something bigger. Yeah.
Hmm. And that's really important because even if they don't know, they will find a way between your
Yeah.
work while they're working with you. They will get that. And I believe in a higher power as well, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Mhm.
And I do run to my consultant, my God, all the time,
Right?
every day. I don't see other way. That's my,
Yeah.
if I want to go anything, it's just like, especially sometimes even the simple things
Mm.
that I think come across to my mind, like I shouldn't consult my higher power, I do consult. And like, so this is for me. Should I buy this, or should I don't buy, or should I
Yeah.
go out or not? Because there we go. There is always, when we believe, and we always gonna consult the higher power. And this is really powerful for ourselves, for our business, for our surroundings as well, for
Yeah.
everyone that lives with us. Really,
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing these three facts about you. And we came up with this, and they are, and somehow, there we go. I make this question, and I always discover that they are connected with
Yeah.
anything we do, because it's like our, how we say these pillars, is our,
Yes. Yes. Our pillars. That's a good way of saying it. Yeah.
because it is such a way you will,
Yeah.
the way you are, and you show to others, to help others through the things that we know most well and we believe. So, and so, talking about this, all these amazing three facts, or three things that you work with the women. And what else, what work do you do with the African women apart these three things? Is anything, how do you do, or how?
Okay. Yeah. So one of okay, so I guess it's threefold. We create content, and the content for me is really about provoking women to think differently, to consider a different, mindset. To think, okay, maybe I've always thought this way, but have I considered this possibility? So I feel that the content that we create, whether it's the podcast or the blog, those are things that really just activate people to think. They are entertaining, they are funny, sometimes they are sad, and you could have a few tears
Yeah.
here and there, but at the end of the day they are also inspirational. Especially on the podcast, we talk to different African women who tell us their stories about the things that they have overcome, how they have triumphed, the lessons they have learned. And there's so much that we can learn from each other. One of the
Yeah.
unfortunate things about African history is that much of it is lost, whether it was stolen or whether it has been passed down through oral tradition, or even there's been libraries that were burnt, and so much history gone. And we have sort of like a gap
Mhm.
in our stories. But I feel like right now it's time for us to make sure that we're documenting our stories, so that our children, our grandchildren will be able to see and say, yes, there are amazing, phenomenal African women out there, and this is what they did. I have the receipts. I can prove
Oh,
that it happened, right? So
that's
that's also one of the things that, one of the goals of the type of content that we create. We also
wow.
have inspirational or transformational events. Now, one of the things that I have come to realize is that, when you put women in a room together, like-minded women, I believe magic happens, especially when you've got women that are coming from different industries. A lot of times, we tend to go to events that are just within our industry, within our circle, and we
Wow.
don't actually try and diversify the type of knowledge that you have. But when you bring a mash of people, there is magic, because you might find that somebody in one industry is doing something in a way that you can adapt to your industry, and it can just take off. But a
Yeah.
lot of times we don't open ourselves up to those types of conversations. We don't think that there's any value in learning from some other industry because, oh, it's not what I do. But I feel
Yeah.
that just being able to facilitate those types of conversations is actually very powerful. So we have networking events. These are virtual networking events, and they're also in person. We also host events. There's one which I particularly like, which is called Be Your Own Bay. I think as women in general, we're always caring for other people, and we don't actually take time to care for ourselves first. So that's why it's called Be Your Own Bay. So it's just about taking a few hours to say, I'm not going to be focused on anybody else, but I'm going to focus on me. I'm going to focus on, doing something for me. Just, having that silence from all the trouble, all the worries, your business, your children, hubby, all of those things. But to just say,
Wow.
okay, this is my time, and I'm just going to decompress, and I'm just going to relax. No phone calls. We actually, put the phones away. It's a phone-free zone.
I love it.
So, no distractions. It's just about relaxing. And, again, you find women coming from different industries, and it's such powerful conversations that are created in those moments. This year, we are also planning a retreat, our first retreat. So that is so
Wow.
exciting. Yes, so it's a destination retreat, and it will be to the north of Zambia, which is quite unexplored territory. And we've got so many beautiful waterfalls in Zambia. So we're going to the waterfalls, we're going to a beach, and you're thinking, like, okay, if you know Zambia, it's a landlocked country, but we actually have quite a lot of water bodies. And in the north of the country, we've got some wonderful sandy white beaches. So that's where we're going for our retreat,
Wow.
and we'll be doing our signature program, which is the Know Your Purpose retreat. Yeah. So very things, yeah, it's exciting things like that we do.
2022. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Regarding this retreat, coming to the retreat now, because it's the last thing I heard, and like, wow, is everything is wow, but coming to the retreat, can women from another countries join?
Yes,
Mm.
absolutely. Absolutely. We would love for you to come. I think one of the beautiful things that is happened in I guess in Africa is that, especially COVID really hasn't, touch wood, affected us, as immensely as other countries. So I would say it is relatively safe, safer to travel here. So you would be able, and it's quite easy to get into the country. You don't have to spend loads of money to be in a hotel locked up for 14 days or whatever it is. There's all those types of restrictions. That doesn't happen here. So it's actually very accessible to anybody who would want to come from out of the country. So I would say,
Yeah.
yes, please
No,
do come.
yeah. I do feel like, yes, I want to come. And when it's going to be? Because I know it's 2022, but when?
Yes, it's in June. It's in Lord, now I'm getting the days wrong. It's July 4th to the 10th.
Before my birthday. Mm.
Ah, there's another attendee whose birthday is in that week as well. And she's like, I'm definitely coming. This is my birthday weekend. So yeah.
So how many days it will be?
It will be 7 days. we'll be doing a tour. So we'll be moving by a bus, and we will visit different sites along the way until we get to the north of the country, at the actual top of the country. So we'll
Yeah.
go to Chishimba Falls, then we'll go to Ndole Bay, which is where the falls are, and then we'll also visit Kapisha Hot Springs, and we'll also visit Shiwangandu Estate, which is it's actually weird. It's an English manor house, which is in the middle of this
No.
random bush in Zambia. But it is absolutely gorgeous, and they've maintained it from when it was created in the 1800s, and it's really stunning.
Wow. Oh, sister, I really want to know. I want to go now. Chulo, you just make me feel like I want to go to Zambia
You
now.
should.
I will check because I'm sure this information will be somehow. But let's move on to the next question. How and why did you start African Women?
Wow. So let's see. Okay, so I actually started the blog with a couple of friends. We were doing a program together, and we wanted to commemorate the program and continue the spirit of what the program was. So we started a blog. However, it died off, because life happens, babies, moving, all sorts of things. And then 2 years down the line, I decided that I wanted to start it up again. So I contacted my friends and asked them whether, it would be okay if I could take on the name and continue. At that point in my life, um, I had reached, I'd say, like a crisis. I was really struggling with, who I was, what I was doing, and whether it was really aligned to my own values, to my roots. And I just was not happy. I was actually depressed, and it took me a while to actually figure out that I was depressed. And especially in African culture, we don't necessarily think about going to a therapist or anything like that. That's not our first thought. So I had to go through this journey of healing. And when I was coming out of the healing, I decided to start the blog. And I think in the blog, I really began to express and really explore who it is that I want to serve, what is it that I want to do, what am I rooted in? And after the blog, developed the podcast. So it grew into the podcast, and then eventually it grew into the community and the events that we are now sponsoring and hosting.
Wow.
So that was the short version of the story.
Wow. That's and how long like when this shift and everything this since depression, how many years it's been so far?
Yeah. So I had a serious crisis in it was around June 2019. Yeah.
Mm.
And then I got help starting around July. And then I started July 2019. And then I started the blog in March 2020, just when,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
pandemic was all starting. So it was actually very interesting. At the time, I had another business, which was a wedding cake business. And of course, they said no events and things like that. And literally, my business died overnight because there was, you can't force people to have events or get married in secret. So I think it was a beautiful it
Shift.
was a beautiful, like, yeah, collision or shift of things happening, because
Mm.
I think that if the pandemic didn't happen, I might not have had the courage to start Africana Woman. But because I wasn't doing the wedding cake business, I had time on my hands. I had the opportunity and the space to open myself up to new things. So I found the beauty in that.
Yeah. It's so many, so many Chulu people that came out in a good way through this pandemic.
Yeah.
It is really there we go. It's really transformational to hear that. It's really beautiful, because there is as well so many people that couldn't get over, couldn't get through,
Yes.
and is still
Yeah.
living in a different way. But that's why we are here. That's why we are having these conversations, to bring hope and inspire people to don't give up, because this is
Yes.
that is like, you never give up. You are an entrepreneur. You had so many businesses already, but you never said no. I'm going to be here, I'm going to stay here. And your spiritual guidance, or whatever the power, whatever we call, whatever anyone wants to call, just guide you slowly but surely. And I love
Yeah.
this. I love the fact that you never gave up, and now you have this African Woman program, or company, that I love the idea. I really do love the idea, and I'm so grateful for your presence, and to you to come is another victory, coming here and share all this. So, brave woman,
Thank you
carry
so
on my
much for
message.
having me.
You're welcome. I do really, really feel so blessed to be able to share that story that you have. And I'm sure now I want to go to Zambia, so you know.
You have to come. Zambia has got the nicest people. I think
Oh my gosh.
anybody that has traveled a lot, when they come to Zambia, they'll say Zambia has the nicest people, and we've got beautiful. It's a beautiful country.
And it's gonna be hot, right? Because I'm a hot.
Yes, yes, yes. So am I. So am I. So
So
we're going to the beach. You need to
yeah,
bring the bikinis. Like, yeah.
Zambia, here I am, here I come. So for now, one more question I have for you. What advice would you like, or can you give to female entrepreneurs?
Mm. So my the ladies that I work with, they say that I've now got like a saying. So I always say, just start, evolve, and you and dream big. Right. So those three things are my standard for when I'm talking to women. I think a lot of times, you've got an idea. I believe that the spirit has been leading you. He's been talking to you to say that, I would like you to do this. I want you to start this business. I want you to start this. But we always make excuses. We always think about, oh, it's not the right time. I don't have the right resources. I don't have capital. We're always making excuses. But I believe that you have everything that you need right now to just start. And
Yes.
when you start, I know a lot of times we will also want to gather a lot of information. So we become information hoarders, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that you need to realize is that clarity comes in doing. So when you actually start with, whatever it is that you say you want to do, it's those experiences that will teach you, okay, so maybe I shouldn't use this type of, I don't know, appliance because I've started a hair business, or maybe I should use different types of products. But when you're actually doing it, that's when you get clarity. Don't wait for, oh, let me just be getting information and or reading articles, watching YouTube videos. You have to get the practical experience yourself. So just
Powerful.
start. Another thing about that I love to say is dream big. Now, I know a lot of times, and especially as women, we try to censor ourselves because we've been taught not to occupy too much space. We've been taught that we need to make ourselves small, and you know that you've got a big dream. And sometimes it scares you, but it's okay because our dreams don't necessarily come all at once. It develops over time, right?
Love,
You
love.
might even be surprised, like you started today, 5 years from now, when you look back at how much you've achieved, you just be like, wow,
Yeah.
how did that happen? But when you limit yourself, there, I think it's a disservice to yourself. It's also a disservice to your creator, because if he gave you that dream, then he can make it happen. If he gave you the dream for a business, he's going to give you the customers for your business. So don't even worry about that stuff. Just dream big. I always want women to dream big. and not have these small dreams. And sometimes when we think about dreaming big, we're always sometimes we gravitate to it being capital. Like we think it's only related to money and things like that, but it
No.
doesn't have to be. It can be the impact you make in people's lives. What if you could touch 1,000 children and change their lives, provide food for them? What if you could help people who are in some remote area and they haven't seen before, but then you can give them sight because you're a doctor and you can go there. You know what I mean? There's more to dreaming big than actually money. So don't be scared when someone says dream big, and don't be afraid to embrace what is in your heart and in your mind. I don't
Really?
have to tell you what's there. It's already there. So you need to tap into it. And then finally, evolve. I think that,
No.
as human beings, we're people that are always learning. Right. And we should be learning. We learn in everything. We learn in our experiences.
Yeah.
We learn in the people that we talk to, even today, like the conversation that we're having today. Right. We learn from our work. We learn from even just taking a walk in nature. So don't be afraid to evolve and learn and believe in, maybe your values might change, or maybe uh, you might find something in the conversation that you had, that you feel that you can adapt to your own life, and
Yes.
it can help you in a better way. So I think evolution is really just natural, and we fight it so hard. As women, we're fighting aging, we're fighting, the ladies dropping, all of these things, all the gray hair. But you know what? Evolution is normal.
It
And there's just
is.
something beautiful about it. There's something beautiful about being able to embrace everything and all of who you are. So it's
I
okay to evolve. So I'll say it again: dream big, evolve, and just start
Fantastic. Thank you so much. My gosh, our God is good all the time.
all
I'm
the
so
time.
grateful. This is beautiful. You preach, girl. You do preach, and I love it. I love it. Thank you so much.
You're
Wow,
welcome.
it's so true. It's so important, and don't give up. I love this. I love this. And I'm going to be able to listen again and again. And anyone that can if you were here or if you don't, come back and go and check this conversation and feel inspired and go and fly, shine and flourish. It's
Yes.
beautiful. Chulu, thank you so much. And now, Chulu, to end our conversation, I would love for you to say where people can find you on social media,
Mhm.
websites, anything. And if they
Okay.
want to get in touch with you, how they do.
Okay, great. Thank you for this opportunity.
Well,
So, my playground is Instagram. So, just look for Chulu underscore by design. Chulu underscore by design. You can find me on LinkedIn, Chulu Chansa, or you can go to my website, which is africanawoman.com. So, I'll say that again: africanawoman.com. When you go there, basically, you'll be opened up to all that is. That I do, that we do, and the contact details are there. Please, you can send me a DM. I respond myself. I think people get surprised when I actually respond. They're like, "Oh, I didn't think you would respond." I'm like, "Of course I will. I'm excited that you sent me a message." So yeah, those are the ways to contact me.
and on the website, is any information about the retreat, the network? Is there?
Yes, there
Okay.
definitely information about the network. We're just updating the website to include the retreat, so that should be coming in the next week. But
Oh,
yes, it's there. If you
but
go to the network, to the community, there is some information in our private community, so you'll be able to access that there.
fabulous. So all this information that Chulo just mentioned, or regarding the social media links and website, is on the description of this podcast. So anyone, anywhere you're gonna be able to reach Chulo straight away and find out either about the network, about the retreat to Zambia. I'm sure after you listen this, you will feel like, yeah, that sounds my place. Because if you love summer, if you love hot weather, you will be definitely in the right place at the right time with the right people. God bless you, Shulu. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much once again, and keep flourishing. You
Thank you
really
so much.
inspire my day and my week. I'm so grateful. You take care. Bye
You
bye.
take care. Bye.
Goodbye.